What does it take for a franchise brand to really be successful?
Welcome to FordifyLIVE with your host, Ford Sakes.
Well, today I've got a special guest, a friend and colleague, and I've worked for their organization before, Matt Kelton from Showhomes. Welcome to FordifyLIVE. We are live on Facebook and LinkedIn and YouTube, and it's also the Business Growth Podcast. That's a lot. Anyway, welcome to the show.
Great to be here. Thanks, Ford.
So tell me, I worked with you guys back during in September of 2020. A lot's changed since there. Tell me, what is Showhomes for those listeners or those viewers? What is Showhomes? What do you guys do as a franchise?
Sure. Showhomes is America's largest home staging and design network. And so we've been around since the 1980s. We offer home staging, home minor remodeling called updates. And, we work with homeowners, home builders, and really anyone who's looking to sell their home. And so we've helped realtors, homeowners, and builders sell 35,000 homes valued at $11 billion. That's what we like to talk about. But it's a very fragmented industry, but we're really the only national player in this space.
So as a national player, helping realtors and homeowners stage their home and sell their homes. Tell me about your growth. At the time, I think you had like 20 or 30 locations. Have you experienced growth? Has it declined? What's going on with the franchise growth?
Yeah, I think like everyone, COVID was an odd time, and then the housing industry.
I imagine.
The homes were selling extremely quickly, and inventory was an issue, and we've seen that really change in the last year or so. And so we were on 25 franchisees, 50 franchise territories around the country, and we're seeing massive growth this year. We're looking to probably sell 10 or 12. Massive for us, 10 or 12 franchises. And so I think with all the layoffs and lots of people looking to become their own boss and doing something they're passionate about, we're getting more interest. And I've been here 16 years. I've never seen the number of inquiries. So it's exciting.
Yeah, and Showhomes has been around for like 40 years, right? Since 86 or something like that?
Right. So, we started as kind of a home management program where this is what it was called. So we would find people who were looking for temporary housing, and we'd match them with homes that banks had foreclosed. So kind of like an Airbnb concept. And so we've transitioned, and really staging is our core. And again, that was a whole different industry than the really property management. And so we've been rated the number one stager for many years by a lot of leading authorities that are out there. And so that's been kind of a gratifying thing for us. So it's been 20%, only 20% of homes are staged right now. And so it's just
really only 20%. I would have thought it would have been higher. Because I would think, as a marketer myself, if I was selling anything, I want it to be, I want it to look as good as it can. And so having a home stage, if only 20%, that's a huge market opportunity. Realize, you're in your 50 territories. What can a homeowner expect hypothetically? Because obviously this is for educational, informational purposes only. We are not giving you legal advice. But what could someone expect to get out of their investment? So if they invest in your services, does it increase 10%, 2%? Like what could it do?
Yeah, there's a lot of statistics and data. We've shown that the homes can sell 50% faster, 10 to 12% higher than their list price. That's one of the things that people are looking for. It's not the way we buy homes is radically different. When I bought my first home many decades ago, the realtor controlled the experience, and frankly, It's like a hostage situation where I was in her smoking while she was smoking, Marlboros in her Cadillac. And today, the buyer controls that experience, and so they're going to be looking at Zillow, Realtor.com, and if your home isn't staged and updated, you're just at a huge disadvantage. And it's a different way that people are buying. So staging has become really the standard for most people to get their homes sold. Our focus has traditionally been the top 20, 25% of home values. But that's, starting to lower somewhat, frankly. And we think that number is going to continue to grow pretty quickly.
In the markets that you're in, you have independent companies that do staging, obviously, because you're competing, but you've got a national brand, so you've got the franchise presence, the national brand. What do you guys tell your franchisees from a local marketing standpoint? Like, how do you help them excel and compete and leverage the brand of Show Homes as opposed to, they're just independent?
Well, it's heavy referrals. And so the realtor really is the gatekeeper in a lot of ways. And so probably 80% of their leads a lot of the time come from realtors. And so we deliver a really solid product. If you've heard of the Net Promoter Program.
Yeah, NPS. Yeah.
NPS, we're currently at 92, which is one of the highest scores in the world. And so we just deliver a super high level quality product. Each franchise has their own independent website, and digital marketing is clearly, we spend a lot of time on that. And, when I was a franchisee right out of college, and we spent a lot of money, it seems ridiculous now, on the yellow pages. But, today, how they're going to find you is Google and, Google reviews, and, that you want to be, if someone types in home staging, Wichita, Kansas, we want to be on the top of the poll.
Right. And so for those listeners, Matt mentioned Yellow Pages. That was actually a book where they would print all the businesses in it with display and classified ads where you could promote, and they would put them and distribute them to everybody's house. So when you talk about privacy, they used to send the name, address, and what was the white pages and the yellow pages. So I'm dating myself for those younger people who really don't know what those yellow pages are. Well, nowadays we know that marketing has become so savvy. Obviously, digital marketing for you and for your franchisees is going to be important, which includes their website, search engine rankings, because the type of business that you're in is a search business. I mean, if I'm looking at selling my home, it's now top of mind. But so it's how can I find you? So your website, your search engine optimization, your Google business reviews, your social media presence. Because you do staging, do you encourage your franchisees? I know when I spoke for your group back in 2020, we talked about it, but I'm wondering now, since that presentation, are they working with you? Or did they implement some of the video testimonials, and did they work on their Google reviews, and did they work? Because we talked about digital back then, how important it was, but obviously the market's going to keep going up and down, especially with what's going down in the economy. But there's still opportunities everywhere. So I'm just curious, how well do you feel your franchisees have adapted and adopted the local marketing, like understanding that it's not just delivering the product or service, it's really important to leverage local marketing?
Yeah, I mean, I think they definitely have expanded. We have a major focus on Google right now, and so the more reviews you have, the better. Frankly, we're a very visual business, so Facebook, but really more Instagram today is where we're getting leverage from people. So that's a key piece. We do real well with. We have an enterprise version email package system on the templates, and so that continues to be extremely effective. And, we're also, starting to see a transition to texting. And so we're providing that, texting feature to franchisees. Because it's funny, even family members, you'll try to call them and they won't answer, but they'll respond to a text right away.
It's like my wife won't answer her dang phone. Whoops, I gotta be careful. She won't answer her phone, but if I text her, she'll text me back. I'm like, okay, now I know you had to see it ringing, but it's usually on vibrate. But for some reason, it's the text. We know it. So at the end of the day, communication is so important. And the challenge with mobile devices are they're not used for cell phones for making phone calls. The number one thing is texting, then email, then social media or app, then actually calling is actually number 4 on the list. So there's lots of different ways. Now, when they do that marketing that you're talking about, are they also prospecting independent homeowners that are selling their homes by themselves and realtors, or both, or where do you feel the split is?
Primarily, it's going to be the real estate agent, but we also are, targeting people in our Google ads for people who are looking for, help in selling their home, and staging is linked to that. But,
so I've got to ask, as an innovator myself, and for those listeners here and the viewers, these are not staged questions. Matt has no idea what I'm going to be asking. And frankly, if you've seen me before, I have no idea what I'm going to say next. So we're all good. Curious, what do you is there something, now this is an innovation question. So we're switching gears from show homes to just you as an expert in franchising for 16 years in your organization, helping it grow. Is there an opportunity for show homes to sell a do-it-yourself staging kit or anything that for those people that they either don't have a franchise or they don't have a franchise in their area, but they want to do it themselves? Have you guys ever thought about selling a package or a kit that they could use to how to do it?
No, because a couple of things. All of our people go through, a lot of training. That's one piece. So it's hard just to teach that. But we also, our franchisees invest in, the latest on-trend furniture, artwork, accessories. And so
right. So they actually bring the inventory in and stage it with their inventory.
Right. And so we do have services where we'll go in and we can we do consultations, so we can even also do these virtual, so we can tell them what to do. I got you.
So they could, so if I didn't have a show homes in my territory, but I know you guys are the experts, I could do a Zoom call or something with someone. That's really what I was getting at. Yeah. Okay.
We do a consultation. And
consultation.
That would be what we call a style. So we provide that. And we're also getting into e-design, where if you've seen, some of these shows on HGTV where they'll show you what the home looks like after it's staged. And so we're not doing, virtual staging, but it's a tool in selling our staging services. And
what about, how have you guys or your franchisees ever played around? One of the hot topics that I'm doing right now is AI and ChatGPT for business, because as an accelerator, I specialize in helping people bridge that gap between their value proposition and their customer base. And right now, that seems to be the talk of the talk. I've done several webinars before this. I've done a lot of LinkedIn Lives and a lot of Fordify episodes on this topic. And I'm asking all businesses, how do you feel it's impacting your business? And is it helping your local franchisees, or do they even know about it, or do you know?
Well, it's funny. We have a monthly town hall, which is similar to this with our franchisees. And
right.
When at IFA, that was the hot topic, the International Franchise Conference that we both attended recently.
Yep.
And, when I talked through it, it was pretty eye-opening for most of the people. And so since then, a number of them are saying that they're using it for content, for Facebook posts, to do articles. And so I've been spending more and more time on it. And the longer I look at it, it's just almost creepy how effective it can be in a lot of ways. Yeah,
it's both. People have told me when I pulled my team into the office and I said, "Hey guys, you need it," back in December and in January. ChatGPT went to 1 million users in a week and 100 million in 30 days, give or take the stats there, everybody. So don't give me any crap. But they grew extremely fast. And I was using AI type services 3 years ago. They weren't as sophisticated, but there were they were just launching certain derivatives of it before they gave you the whole access. And now Google Bard came out a few weeks ago. And so now Google has theirs. And now there's hundreds of derivatives of AI. And I pulled my staff in and I told them, look, you better learn some new skills. And at first they said, well, that's cheating. And I told Alex, my producer, I said, did you use the microwave today? And if you've listened to Fordify before, you've heard me tell that story, but it's just so relevant because he was like, at first, no, that's cheating. I'm a writer. I went to college for writing. And I'm like, yeah, but did you use the microwave? Did you kill your own food? Things evolve. And unfortunately, I know there's been a lot of talk now to put the genie back in the bottle and to try to stop it. I don't think they can stop it. I don't know. I'm sure our listeners, if you've got a comment, put a comment below into the whatever platform you're watching this on. But I don't think they can put the genie back in the bottle. So I'm leaning into it heavily to see, because it's changing rapidly. It's, even as we go live now on these platforms, it's changing. But it is changing our world. Teachers are students are using it to write their essays. Teachers are using it to grade the essays. It's like, where does it stop? What do you need? It's like, you don't need to know anything. It's like people, I was talking to a friend of mine the other day. We grew up in Minnesota together, and we used to drive around at night and learned all the streets. And Minneapolis is a pretty big city. And so we learned the whole city just driving around. We were just kids, 16 years old, staying out all night as little punk kids. And now I'm thinking, kids have if they don't have a GPS, they can't make it to the corner store. I mean, they have no idea north, south, east, and west. And so I look at this technology and I just try to think ahead, like not what does it do now? Because yes, it's great for writing copy, but when everybody can write copy, then it becomes irrelevant. When everybody's using it, then the search engines, and there's all kinds of AI detectors. But as soon as the AI gets better and the detector gets better, the AI gets better. So I just think it's one of these things, if you're a listener or watcher, if you're not using it by now, you need to be using it to see how you can leverage it. I've been using it now, Matt, for proposals, for research, for tables. I can have it to tables. Our programmers use it for coding. I mean, I'm using it for customer service, customer experience, for best practices. I'm using it for rights. I spoke for an organization and they wanted some, because of my keynote speaking, they wanted to be able to sell use my video presentation. I have a regular recording contract and they sent me theirs. And so I took the contract, posted it into ChatGPT, and I said, tell me where I'm at risk. And it gave me 3 different things and said, oh, you're at risk. I mean, it was like calling an attorney. Now I realize it's not an attorney, everybody. You still need to get the competent professionals. So anyway, I don't want to detour us too far off that topic, but it'd be a disservice to the group if we're talking about business growth, because that's what the show is about. How do you grow your business? How do you improve operations? I talk to a lot of franchise executives like you, because that's where a lot of my market where I speak to. So I love to interview experts, either that I've spoken for or haven't spoken for. So going back to your brand now, so you've got this brand, you've got the market. What do you see on the horizon that you guys are preparing for that might be some unforeseen challenges? And what I'm really asking is, how are you preparing your franchisees to be agile and innovative? Now, obviously in franchising, you want them to follow your systems. So for those of you listening, we're not talking about changing the franchise system. We're talking about how do you get the mindset so they can see new opportunities.
Well, really, there's 2 core things. I mean, you've got to drive sales. There's that old line, sales cures all ills, but we also are spending more and more time on franchise profitability.
Yep.
And so that's, they're not making money. They're not going to make it. And so we've got everyone on QuickBooks Online. They're on the same chart of accounts. They upload their financials to a thing called a business intelligence system called Profit Keeper, so they can compare their financials, they benchmark. And so those are core pieces that we spend time looking at. The networking, the relationship building, growing their teams. I mean, these are all things that are really important. And, we are positioned as a one-stop shop for that homeowner, that realtor, home builder. Instead of having to go talk to 6 or 8 different, subcontractors and stagers and remodel, we can handle everything. And so that's one of the real differentiators that we have. And just the quality that we're going to have versus, we call it the local Sally stager, or real estate agents who pretend to be stagers become stage agents. So, I mean, it's a whole different, level. So we're trying to be more of a Nordstrom's versus a Walmart quality wise. And so we're not the cheapest, we're not the most expensive either. And so.
That's good. I know that in the organizations I speak to, if it's a service business, in your case, it's Sally Stagers or it's Chuck in a Truck, right? So it's those local business owners that compete with the national brands, and they just buy a van and they don't have any insurance. And they're out there just trying to do the job. But you bring up some really good points as we get ready to wrap up this episode. You really have to look at the end of the day, you're either going to increase sales or hopefully increase profits, which those 2 things are not correlated necessarily. And then you want to improve operations. And so, and then there's marketing. So there's really 3 buckets, right? You've got your operations bucket, which is leading to management. You've got your marketing bucket and sales bucket. Marketing is creating the opportunity, and sales is actually building that relationship and closing new and repeat sales. And then of course, you've got the delivering the product or service, and all the marketing in the world won't overcome poor service. And with a net promoter score, for those of you that are new, NPS or net promoter, you can Google it and you can look at other episodes I've done on it. But it basically asks the question and you guys, everybody has seen this. If you bought anything or any airline ticket, on a scale of 1 to 10, how likely would you be to refer us to a friend or colleague? And then if they score it 1 through 6, they're detractors. 7s through 8s are I can't remember the name of it now, but they're neutral. And then the advocates are the ones that are at the top, 9s and 10s. So if you have a 9 or 10, you've got people that once they use your service, they're singing your praises to the other brands. It's really important. That's just amazing. One of the things I'm going to do, I'm going to send you a copy. I've got a book. Whoops, wrong button. I've got a book called Accelerate: The Ultimate Guide for Franchises to Maximize Local Marketing and Boost Sales. It came out a couple months ago. So I'll send you one of those books and you can look at it. And if you want some for your franchisees, just let me know and I'll get you some.
Awesome. All right. Well, thank you, Ford. This has been great.
All right. Well, thanks everybody. This is Fordify Live. We go live Wednesdays, 11 a.m. Central on LinkedIn, YouTube, and Facebook. And our special guest today was Matt Kelton from Showhomes, showhomes.com. Thanks again, Matt.